Hey everyone, and welcome to TopThink. Today we're going to learn about psychopaths, sociopaths, and the dark triad. Now let's begin. What's the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath? These labels describe the volatile personality types on the planet. They're impulsive, they're selfish, and they don't think twice about hurting other people. At least, that's what most people think. No doctor would ever use labels like psychopath or sociopath. People misuse these labels for a wide range of irregular personalities. Individuals who struggle with schizophrenia, for example, are frequently called psychopaths. They may have unusual symptoms like auditory hallucinations, but having a mental disorder does not make you a psychopath. So let's talk about real psychopathy. What does a true psychopath or sociopath look like, and what makes these personality types so rare and irregular? To answer these questions, let's talk about APD, or Antisocial Personality Disorder. APD is one of the most challenging and diverse mental disorders out there. APD includes irregular, sometimes dangerous personalities that show signs of impulsive, self-centered behavior. Common symptoms include deceit, frequent irritation, reckless decision-making, and a lack of remorse. But APD, like all psychological disorders, differs from person to person. Individuals diagnosed with this disorder exist on a spectrum. Some people with APD show minor symptoms like impulsiveness or reckless behavior. But despite their irregular personality traits, these people may live normal lives. If no one told you they had APD, hey, you'd never know. At the other end of the spectrum, we have the most severe cases. These are the celebrity psychopaths that litter our history books with violent crimes. These dangerous individuals are well known for criminal behavior, vicious manipulation, and a total lack of empathy. When you think about psychopaths and sociopaths, these are the people that come to mind. But what personality traits define the higher end of the spectrum? Experts have discovered 3 defining traits which explain the mysterious personalities of these violent characters. These 3 socially aversive qualities are ominously called the dark triad. Every psychopath and every sociopath falls somewhere in this triangle of negative personality traits. The dark triad includes narcissism, Machiavellianism, and of course, psychopathy, each of which unveil a darker, twisted side of humanity. Every trait in the dark triad has one thing in common: an inflated sense of self. These individuals believe, for one reason or another, that they are better than or different from everyone else. They may think of themselves as deities walking amongst regular people, or maybe they view the entire world as their enemy. Either way, this inflated ego justifies and exaggerates their impulsivity, which creates a volatile personality. So this brings us to the first member of the dark triad: narcissism. Narcissism is not an inflated sense of self, though that's the way most people define it. There are plenty of proud, selfish people in the world. Your friend may talk way too much about their salary. Your boss may think they're better than you, but these people are not narcissists. They have big egos, but narcissism describes something far more significant. A narcissist is someone who's constantly craving attention, admiration, and praise. They want to be the center of attention at all times, and they expect other people to treat them like someone special. They genuinely believe they are the most important people in the world. They value their time, their money, and their desires more than anyone else's, and they think the whole world should follow suit. Surprisingly, most narcissists know exactly how self-centered they are. Studies have shown that narcissists will freely acknowledge their narcissism. In other words, they aren't blind to the irregularities in their personalities, but that doesn't mean narcissists are willing to change. While narcissism is an important member of the dark triad, it's also a personality disorder. NPD, or narcissistic personality disorder, develops when narcissistic tendencies interfere with your life on a daily basis. Narcissism may cause major rifts in your relationships. It may destroy your career or motivate destructive habits. People with NPD also display severe attention-seeking behavior, which creates extreme insecurity and grandiose beliefs. If someone has NPD, they may be a narcissist, but that does not mean they're a psychopath. Narcissism is just one component of the dark triad, and it's the most common of the bunch. To understand the personality of a psychopath, there are two more sinister qualities at play. The second member of the dark triad is Machiavellianism. Machiavellianism describes your relationship with deception. People with this personality trait, often called high max, deceive people for their own personal gain. They enjoy manipulating others. They find it thrilling, even fun. High max believe they have the right to control other people, and they have the intelligence to back it up. High max, on average, have very high IQs. They're master manipulators who bend the truth and make it sound believable. Unfortunately, many high max have taken up powerful positions in society. Leaders, politicians, and wealthy businessmen throughout history have displayed Machiavellian tendencies. It's not uncommon for leaders to climb to the top of the social ladder by abusing their authority. The third member of the dark triad, psychopathy, is also the most unusual. This irregular personality trait turns a self-centered con artist into a truly dangerous individual. Why? Because psychopathy strips away your feelings of empathy and remorse. With this personality trait, at-risk individuals can do harm to others without feeling any sense of regret. These people are insensitive, impulsive, and unemotional because they can't connect with other people on an emotional level. Because they cannot experience empathy, these people use their high intelligence to create a superficial persona. They have a knack for analyzing and controlling other people, so they use their charm and versatility to take advantage of others. On its own, psychopathy leads many people down a dark road. But the most dangerous individuals represent the entire triad. These are history's most famous criminals, the serial killers whose legacies haunt the world to this day. These killers are governed by self-absorption, and they satisfy their needs above anyone else's. They display extreme attention-seeking behaviors, and they consistently chase impulsive thrills. Just think about all the criminals who wrote letters to the police and publicized their crimes just to get on the news. They wanted to be heard. They wanted attention. Now, of course, their high Mach tendencies make them elusive, almost invisible. They control their surroundings like a puppet master, pulling the strings at every turn. Their lack of empathy drives them towards self-satisfying violence, and they feel no remorse after creating so much pain and suffering because these devious characters only care about one person, themselves. Now, this is by no means a complete discussion of the dark triad, but even in this small summary, it's obvious that these personality traits make a catastrophic combination. So, what do we call these people? Are these people sociopaths or psychopaths? Well, both of these terms come from the dark triad, but there's a clear line between a sociopath and a psychopath. Even though neither is academically relevant, it's important that we distinguish between them. They've become mainstream labels for individuals with APD, but not everyone fits into either category. Just like unhealthy and crazy are two different things, there's a big difference between a sociopath and a psychopath. Some experts boil down this contrast to one significant discrepancy. Sociopaths have two traits in the dark triad, but psychopaths have all three. While this is the easiest way to distinguish between psychopaths and sociopaths, it's not entirely accurate. Many sociopaths do experience psychopathic tendencies. They struggle with empathy. They may not feel remorse all the time. But sociopaths do have a conscience. It may be dull, twisted, and irregular, but it's still there. Unfortunately, that conscience is the biggest reason why sociopaths are such volatile and unpredictable people. They can form meaningful relationships. They can experience intense emotional pain, but their mind processes those emotions very differently. Sociopaths struggle immensely to function in our society. They cannot conceal the irregularities in their personalities, so those irregularities take over their lives. A psychopath, on the other hand, does not have a conscience. They show significant signs of all three traits in the dark triad. Psychopaths are 100% lacking in both empathy and remorse, so they're far more controlled, measured, and calculating than sociopaths. Psychopaths will hide under everyone's noses because they read and analyze people better than anyone on the planet. It's not uncommon for psychopaths to have exceptional knowledge about the way people think. Even though they can't experience empathy, psychopaths have turned deception into a science. But why? Well, psychopaths take advantage of others to protect themselves. They crave attention, but they blend seamlessly into the crowd. Why? Well, because a psychopath never wants to give themselves away. Similar to sociopaths, psychopaths do have emotions. This is a very common misconception. People think psychopaths are emotionless monsters, but that's not true. Psychopaths can get lonely and experience hardship just like anyone else. They can love people in their own way, even if it doesn't look like the love we're used to seeing. Being a psychopath, especially a non-violent one, is incredibly isolating. Psychopaths learn not to trust anyone but themselves, so their lives are often colored by sadness, instability, and emotional pain. All extreme personality disorders are complicated, but APD is the most complicated of them all. In this video, we've introduced the dark triad, discussed the symptoms of psychopathy, and distinguished between the two types of antisocial personality disorder. But we've only scratched the surface. Psychologists are learning new things about APD every day. We have a long way to go before we truly understand the millions of irregularities inside our complicated brains. But if there's one thing you can take away from this video, it's this. Calling someone a psychopath doesn't do this severe personality disorder any justice. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.